The new power rankings are out, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have plummeted. To talk about that, let's bring in our hockey analyst, Dave Poulin. Dave, the Leafs are now behind the Coyotes, the Preds, the Sabres, and the Ducks as well. That's something no Leaf fan would have expected before the start of the season. How did the Leafs turn this thing around?
Win hockey games, Gino, and no Leaf player would have expected it. No management person would have expected it. And yet they're almost exactly where they've been the last 3 years at this point. Their record is identical. And what they did was found their footing in November and went on a roll. That's what they have to do. Now, early season power rankings are a little bit misleading because they include expected goal differential, and points percentage. And so you can have one game that skewers the rankings totally at this point in the season. But they have to play better as an entire group. The core four has been good early, but the core four, Gino, has had the advantage of being together for 5 full years. This is their 6th year together. They play together as units. They're on the power play together. And you can't say that about the rest of the team. David Kampf is the only player that's starting his 3rd year here in the bottom 6 grouping. This is a whole new cast of characters. Even complementing the core four, it's a new cast up top. So they have to find their footing, and they have to do it quickly.
It's interesting because you talk about the last 3 years being the same position they are now as they were the last 3 years as a positive. I see that as a negative. Brad Treliving made 4 notable moves during the offseason to turn this thing around. He brought in Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, Ryan Reeves, and John Klingberg. Last week, Brian Hayes gave the new Toronto Maple Leafs general manager a C- for the work he's done so far. How would you assess his moves?
Well, I think Brian Hayes is right on track, and it is early, and they've had a hard time adjusting as an entire group. But if you think about Brad Treliving coming in, he's coming in from the outside, Gino. He doesn't know the interior as well. And so he's making his view based on what he's seen from his seat in Calgary, what he's seen of those players in their other respective places. He's choosing them. He's got a limited budget, I believe $14 million total for the 4 players, and 3 of them are signed to 1-year deals. He's making a calculated risk, if you will, coming from the outside and making decisions based on who's going to fit best with these players. What did work on paper for him simply hasn't worked on the ice yet. And you have to look at the players and say, okay, you're allowed some time to get used to it here. But 10 games in, you should be gaining comfort. You've all played for different teams. This isn't your second team only in each case. You knew there'd be an adjustment period. You've got to adjust and start playing to the top of your individual games.
Okay, at the start of the season, the Toronto Maple Leafs were probably top 2 in the Stanley Cup favorites, along with the Edmonton Oilers, who incidentally got problems of their own. But Money Puck's a website that uses analytics to give teams a percentage chance to make the playoffs. The Leafs right now, after being preseason Stanley Cup favorites, are now a coin flip. Is there a chance they could actually miss the playoffs, Poulin?
I don't believe there's a chance they miss the playoffs, Gino. There's too much talent there. And the talent, even in the small group it lies in with that, there's so much focus on the group it lies in, are so talented. You're talking about a multiple Rocket Richard winner, a Hart Trophy winner, a first-team NHL All-Star in 2 instances in Mitch Marner's case. One of the best skaters early in the league this year in Willie Nylander. And John Tavares has been Mr. Consistency. So that group is too strong, Gino. They're going to elevate the rest of the guys. They just haven't been able to do it yet.
All right, you've heard what Poulin and I have to think. Now we want to hear from you. The comments are open. Make sure to like and subscribe for all the latest hockey news and reaction from 7-Eleven. That's hockey.